That's what you do. You buy these clothes that cost money and make a difference in it. But we never do that.
Never complains, gets up, gets on, with a smile on his face.
You just want you to sit in your chair and go, hip hip hooray, to the Western press and the Western narrative, regurgitating the same old, same old, same old, every single day, without the truth. If you haven't seen it before, please watch the first two episodes, the second series, something like that. Stallone.
We are on the site of the castle.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
Hello everyone, it's someone asked, hang on, just hang on a sec please. And it was Edward. He says, is this both history and football? Yeah, it's the first hour right now, it's about history. The second hour, starting at 8 o'clock, is all football. All football. So it is a split. It's a split. So thanks, Edward, for asking that. Simon. Good evening, Franco. Hope you and everyone in the chat are in good health. As you say, went shopping today with our Francine. Oh. She was good today, our Francine. I could be moving, you know. Moving from here. Yes, went to see a certain person and could be moving. And Simon said, yeah, good evening, Frank. Hope, yes. Mahatma Gandhi famously said, it is health that is the real wealth and not pieces of gold and silver. Great quote. Great quote. You know, you get, I love quotes. I love quotes, to be honest, you know. I can say loads of them. You know, the likes of, if someone pinches you and feel pain, you're alive. And if someone pinches someone else and you feel their pain, you're a human being. Fantastic. Toscana. Ciao Franco. Hello everyone. Hope you're all well. Good evening, Toscana. Good evening. Want to say that everyone. It's the Anfield Road. You champions. Yes. Yeah, we'll be talking about football later on. And oh, okay, Frank, thanks. I even get thanked. That's nice. Next week, what I'm going to do, there are loads of names, you know, and I'm going to write them all out. All your names. and I'm putting them in a hat. One of my caps. I have caps, you know. So we're going to put, well, you know, the names in the cap, and I'm going to pick one out, and whoever I pick out, show it, wins the program that Mo Salah's autograph. That's what I'm going to do. That'll be next week sometime, when I have time to write these names out. Snake. This crawling up the loft to reposition how the Wi-Fi booster's getting tiresome. The old knees are up to it anymore. Mind you, no man's sticking 2 fingers up at BT, just give me a warm, moist glow. The king of the Wi-Fi. And the outfield, Edwards, I'm so pleased we are busy. We shall save the chat after Frank's history. Absolutely. Yes. There's our brother here from Man United fan. Nice fella. Good evening, Frank, and everyone in the chat, says Johan. Hi, Johan. I'm going to bring the great friend on. What's the history tonight? He's Edward. And all right, Frankie, lad. I hope you're okay, lad. Now, what's the subject matter tonight, lad? A split Frankie show cracking. And they're all letting on to big Johan, our wonderful fella. Anyway, it's just random. It's just random, to be honest. The Polo Mint. Hi, Frank, long time viewer. Do you have a laptop with mic and a 4K DSLR camera? I've got monitors. I have monitors, and I gave my laptop away. Oh, this fucking pain. Would you believe it? I've been free of it all day. Oh, it's just hit me again now. I'm dying, folks. I'm dying. Oh, blimey. I'm going to bring in Hiya Scottish Bear. Hiya George Set. I've just seen this. I'm going to bring in my great friend here. And it's none other than this fine young man. The great artist himself. Hiya, Anthony.
Good evening, Frank. Good evening, chat. Good evening, all. Hope we're all good.
Yeah, I think everyone was in fine fettle. And as the outfield Rose said, we won, Anthony.
All right. Well, we've both got the same kit on nearly tonight. You and I.
Oh, right, okay.
And I'm really intrigued to hear more about your move thing.
Yeah, I went today, you know, and I'm fed up. I'm being honest. You know what? You've been to my home many a time, and
Yeah.
you know what it's like. It's like a prison.
Yeah.
I'm a prisoner in my own home. And I've got no, like, garden or anything because I'm in a flat. And when it is good weather, I go downstairs and I'm sitting by the bin shed where they've got the big dumpsters, you know, inside this bin shed, and I'm sitting outside there. And what you've got around bin sheds, and I'm talking about, must be about 6 dumpsters, you know, big bin things you throw your rubbish in. And what you get there are flies and bees and wasps and spiders. And I'm sitting there in my little chair, you know. So it's one of those things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Quality of life has got to be important wherever we go. And
Yeah, so I was saying to Francine, saying, you look right up down. You know, I told her, I said, you know, I'm just sitting here. I talk to no one. And then she said, then we were in the car, we were coming back from the shop. And she said, come on, we'll go down. I was telling her where to go, about where I want to go. So we went and seen this lady. And she said, okay, no problem. So, but I've got to get some, like medical things
okay.
off my doctor, you know, to tell them well,
Yeah.
you know, my ailments, put it that way. So
Yeah.
I've got to go to the doctors now and get all this medical stuff.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Okay.
I'll let you know more about it when you come over. See?
Is it close by?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, very, very close. And it's a lot better for me. It's a lot better for me.
Will we
The
have
Scottish nurses, they like algorithms. Helps, I ain't got, helps grow Frank's channel. So smash it. That the likes. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Barry Aldridge, even if Frank and Anthony and chat, do we find out anything tonight? Just wait till the, you know, wait till the second hour of the show, you know, when I finish the history. The Scottish Bear. Hi, Anthony.
Oh, hiya, Scottfish. Hi. I'm Barry. Good evening. Sorry.
Lovely. Get your gums around these, Anthony and Frankie.
Now
And,
that's yeah.
it's just, you can't like, you know, ignore these people. George said, hello to Anthony and all the great legends in the chat.
Good evening, George.
And they are legends, actually. They really are, because I was taught, was it today? I don't know, who's that bloody hell I was talking to. And I mentioned about the podcast, you know. No, they were mentioning to me, hey, did you see this? You know, mostly football, you know.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah. I said, don't bother. I said, because people are jumping down a rabbit hole. I said, they have been for a few seasons. I said, but I have a podcast. I said, and they've all got the head screwed up, every single one of them. You don't like go, wow, look, you know, look who we're after. I said, what got me, I said a few years ago, was a lad named Shumaney. I said, everything, it was all signed, sealed, and delivered. And after that, I said, then he was Bellingham. But I said, after that, that was it. I took no notice of these pods. I said, then we had this season as well, a lad by the name of Kvaratskhelia. I said, nothing happened there. I said, so I'll take no notice of them. I said, no, our lads and girls on here, you know, as I said, they've got their heads screwed on. So
yeah.
If it's a pod that you want to look at these people and look at their comments.
Yeah.
That's all I said to them.
Yeah.
That's all right, thank you. And good evening, Mr. Brown. Have you finished the Starry Night already?
No, I haven't finished it yet, Johan. I'll put it out of sight until we finish it. And then with Frank's clearance, we'll put it up one night when it's done. Around, I don't know, me days unless I look at the calendar. But I kind of fancy the idea of finishing it on the day that he finished it, which was 18th of June. So we'll see where we are, and we'll get close to that. If that's,
You'll have to run bailers on here, won't you?
I know, yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll do
Get the old sheets out and have it over it, you know.
we'll do something else. I'll get your Bardham Street tap print to you, and also
Are you
my
kidding me?
else, so that as you're doing with Mo's signature in the
Yeah.
program, we might put up a piece of artwork as well, and
Okay, well, I'll tell you what then.
a question.
Wait till you finish. I'll wait till you finish. Then we'll do the draw. Whenever, you finish your artwork, tell me when, and then we can do the boat together. That'll be fantastic.
Okay.
Wonderful stuff. Wonderful. No, I won't let Anthony win it. Not like that. Pull us out of there. And the chance of me getting the program. Oh, blimey. Give me murder. Murder.
No.
And the polo says, Anthony question. Which artist was the most skilled with the easel? And while you answer that, I'm going to get my reading glasses. My eyes are going worse, unfortunately. Go on, answer that, Mitch.
That's a great but strange question. It's like, you mean which is the fittest? Well, there's many. If you mean by that, which artist was the greatest, then without doubt, the guy without an easel would have been Leonardo da Vinci. Still remains the absolute all-time genius. But there's been so many with an easel. Vincent, Pablo Picasso, and one I am totally taken to is going back in the days just after Henry VIII, when you had the royal painters. Hans Holbein Jr. was absolutely exceptional, and he was Henry's guy. But a couple of years later, you had Anthony van Dyck, which is where Frank's beard comes from. Anyone who sports a beard, like a goatee, used to be called a Van Dyke. They are my favourite easel chuckers.
It's strange, isn't it, the way some people, and not strange really, you're an artist, your work's been everywhere, displayed everywhere, exhibitions, and someone, the likes of Polo, asking you a fair question.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you mentioned Leonardo da Vinci, because I love his work. I love his vision. Absolutely. I love everything about Leonardo.
Everything comes from him, even though there were artists before him. But it's like a marker. It's like football. It's like players. In all these years, there's been players that come and go, and there's still legendary names from the 60s, 70s, 80s that still rank at a top height. I can still remember as a kid watching George Best, and that was at a time where there were so many great players. But even though he didn't have a long career really in football, it's just that you go back to, who would.
It reminds me, you saying that, because his career was cut short, and it was only because of drink.
Yeah,
and his own stupidity, because Georgie Best was an absolute incredible player.
yeah,
And when you look at a tennis player, one of the greats, and it wasn't cut short. At the time, tennis players retired early,
yeah,
and that was Bjorn Borg. He was 28 when he retired, because you had so many great players around at the time.
yeah,
And he plays one of the greatest matches I've ever seen in my life, and that was against an American named Roscoe Tanner, and he was two sets to love down in the semi-final, and he just, there's no coaches coming on, talking to them like you do in football and boxing and every other sport, and he just sat there, at his break, coming in for this, like the first set, the first game of the third set, where he
yeah.
could have gone out, and he just sat there drinking his drink, thinking, how do I do this? How do I beat this fella? Because he was, I think
Skills.
it was 142 miles an hour serves, a ball coming at you there, and he was thinking how to, and he did, and he stepped back from the baseline where he was. He stepped back. I think it was a yard or a yard and a half. So by the time the ball reached in, for his return set, it slowed the ball down
Yeah,
considerably,
yeah.
and that's how he defeated Roscoe Tanner.
Wow,
An incredible play.
that's a mindset, and it's strange. You're quite liberating, really, that you mentioned that, because we're both talking about old time
Yeah,
players, um, but it was a mindset then that it wasn't. It's like today, everything is so fast and so corporate, and it's money, spend money, get better, bam, bam, bam. So the pressures on players must be quite horrifying at times, whatever your sport. Certainly, as we know with football, you talk about sums of money that would have bought a small island, to buy a player to bring its team. But in those days, when there was like you were on your wage and that was it. I know our lads, Liverpool, Everton, uh, lads in the 60s and 70s were on whatever, £15 a week or £20 a week, and that was it. And the performances that got from them was just amazing. So it in one mindset, it's not about money. So if someone wants to pay you, I always said that. Laney has said to me, "What if someone dumps the suitcase full of money and says do another 100 heads, but it would have to be our 100 heads that we're picking." It doesn't matter about the money because it wasn't done for my book.
no, yeah, I know precisely, because you're not that type of person. I do know that.
But I'm sure
You do it for the love of it. I do know that.
players are once upon a time used to be very, very proud to represent their city, their country, and it was kind of that they grew up with that, um, family involvement, going to match and growing up with it. As a child, you dream. We have our dreams.
We all have dreams, don't we? We
Kid-
all have dreams. I still have dreams, but
Yeah,
you'll never be fulfilled, unfortunately. Do you know
well,
what? You mentioned Georgie Best. I've got to say that Georgie Best, yeah, that's why I've got a great admiration for the likes of Bobby Charlton.
absolutely.
Because he was a gentleman, that man.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Georgie Best, right? Liverpool, he's like more or less an unknown player. And
Yeah,
every time Man United came down, this
yeah,
he was picked, this player called Phil Ferns, right?
yeah.
Phil Ferns. and he always seemed to blot out Georgie Best out of the game, if you know what I mean.
Wow.
Anyway, they asked their fans, they said, how do you do it? You know, no one else can. He said, I just run after him. That's all he says, I just run after him.
Perseverance. It's like you described before. The tennis. It's you got to think as differently. And you've been there. I've been with you when you've been given a lecture, given a talk, whether it be informal or formal. And if someone tries to disrupt or upstage, tries to be the big I am,
Yeah.
it's not on. You put them in the place, not by knocking them out, as I quite often would have relished, but just by going around a different way, approaching it in a different manner. And we talk often about the informality of presenting information to people, and they
No,
totally
that's
get
right.
it.
I
If
think
you,
we've got all our own sort of ideas, if you like,
yeah,
because people. I remember being outside the town hall. I gave a talk there. Funny enough, I got a phone call. I got a phone call the other day of this barrister, and he said, "You still?" Well, she said, "You still do these walks, because I gave every November a talk to um, 240 barristers at the town hall every year." And I said, "Why?" And they said, "Well, they don't do it now, you see. They don't do these talks over November." And they said, they'd like to go on a walk. So I said, it depends when. Because I'm thinking now, about the physio and whatever I get out of this particular when they sent for me. I've been waiting up 2 or 3 years. So I just said that. And they said, can you make it soon? So it's that sort of thing.
it's timing, yeah,
It's his timing, and it's timing on everything, unfortunately.
yeah.
It's like
That-
this now. It's like what Simon says in this wonderful quote: history, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived, but if faced with courage, need not be lived again. And that applies to today,
yeah,
what's going on today.
yes,
It really is.
yeah, yeah,
It really is. It's some of the most remarkable things that do come out. It's just like what Plato said. Uh, no one is more hated than he who speaks the truth.
that's right.
And if you're talking about the truth, and someone is totally against, opinions, right? Everybody's got opinions, whether it's history, whether it's anything. You've all got opinions. It's like people and Liverpool, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Someone put up, Francis said, have you seen these dads, And I said, no. And it was on Facebook. And there was pictures of Liverpool, the city.
yeah,
And it was wonderful. It was brilliant. Showing these wonderful streets, these buildings, whether it was taken in the night or in the daytime, and absolutely stunning.
yeah,
And I put under, I said, yeah, can I use that? So I went on my own then, and I got it up, this post. And I said, oh, are these the Liverpool slums that we live in, that people sing and chant about in your Liverpool slums? You see what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
you can't have an answer for everything.
Well, even with that, you have some wonderful people who alter our opinions. Our mutual friend Jared Fleming has taken some incredible photographs over the
Oh
years
yeah.
of areas in town that people wouldn't stop a car to walk around. And he shows Liverpool, certainly his pictures at night time of, of St George's Hall and the area around there, that it's just absolutely
I've
sensational.
got one hanging on my wall.
Yeah.
He phoned me up one day and he said to me, he said, I'm holding an exhibition. I don't know whether you were there. I'm not quite so sure. So I went down and gave this talk, whatever, that's it. And he said to me, he said, that's for you.
Wow.
I'll go and get it off the wall. I'll show you. And you mentioned about, the St. George's Hall.
The Dock Road, the bridge.
I'll just go and get it. It won't be a sec. I'll get it off my wall.
Okay. Guys, this is the chap we're talking about is a wonderful guy called Jared Fleming, who is a photographer, and he takes some incredible photographs of the city we all love at all different times of the day and night. And I've not seen anyone come close to his passion or his photographs. And
I hope you'll be able to see this because it's glass, it's got glass on.
Yeah, might have to tilt it down a bit, but
I know. I think that's the best I can get without.
See it better, yeah, like that, sideways. You
Well,
see
that's the Walker Gallery, there,
that's
and the lamps. Look at it,
yeah,
and it's a little misty night as well. And what you can actually see, it's black and white, as you know.
yeah,
And it reminds me because when I gave the talk, I was looking at some of the pictures and that. And he says, you're always looking at that one. I said, yeah. And the strangest thing, well, not the strangest thing, the coincidence was as I was looking at this, I was giving a talk about Jack the Ripper.
yeah,
And you always get the image of it like a foggy night with bare lights, few lights,
yeah,
and like figures. And
yeah.
that's the wonderful image you get of
Yeah.
Jack the Ripper.
But
And I
that's
said, that just reminds me of a
It's-
scene from Jack the
how
Ripper.
black and white photographs are more evocative of memory rather than colour.
Yes.
I think because colour changes over the years, and when we were kids, and in the 60s when we probably first got holiday photos and stuff developed and stuff, the photos were quite false looking. But black and white photos are timeless.
Of course they are. Of course they are. And that's why, as you said, it brings out, rather than the colour, black and white. That's why some black and white films are absolutely brilliant. And I try to tell people there's a film called Victim, Dick Bogart and Sylvia Sims. And it's a cracking film. It's a black and white film. And it's about like what was going on at the time, like in the early 60s.
Yeah.
And it's such a brilliant film that if it would have been made in colour, it wouldn't have been the same.
No, look false.
You know what I mean? So, good on you. It doesn't speak to me, It doesn't speak to me.
Who Jared?
Hello, me. Yeah, I don't know why. Like, honest to God, I don't know why.
I've not communicated with him for a long time. He did Facebook, and was very active on it, and then he left it for a long time, like a couple of years, and then it came back, slightly changed the name, Jared Fleming's photography, whatever. And then now that's gone, so I can't see him.
I'll tell you what it was. It just reminded me that he had this picture up, and it was superb. I believe I never seen it, and he expected me to, mention it, what a picture or whatever. And because I didn't mention it, he must have thought that I'd seen it. And I said, I haven't seen it. You know, you must have seen it, But he just, like, it's the way Jared is, He's a great fella. I wouldn't say anything about him, but fell out with me.
Well,
I don't know. Go on.
wonderful. He, like our wonderful hero, Herdman,
Yeah.
there should be a book on everyone's shelf. Photographs of Liverpool,
Yes.
days and nights, and
Yes.
by Jared, that would evoke so many memories.
It was actually. The Redbird. Bless up, Frank. Bless up, Anthony.
And you, Redbird?
And the Anfield says, is Frankie doing his own transfer window? Are we going to see our Frankie holding a shirt? Breaking news.
Maybe.
Anyway, I'm just gonna go on to this, boys and girls. Just want to show this. See, the likes of Jason, he just puts random pictures up. I haven't a clue what they are. And let's add this to the screen.
Oh,
Yeah, look at that. It's strange, or coincidental again. What you were saying about St. George's Hall and
the area, yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, the person, and it's, do you see where the columns are on that one?
Yeah.
That was the original library. Right, it's the original library today. You go in there, and that's where the reading rooms are. That's where you go in and study. I've always studied in there.
Yeah.
Anyway, the lad who designed and built it was Cornelius Sherlock. Now, Cornelius Sherlock, when he got the commission to do one of these buildings, everything was neoclassical, and he must have said to him, look, it's got to be neoclassical, it's got to fit in with everything else. So he said, okay. And where did he go? He went over to ancient Athens, ancient Greece, and looked at the things there, the ruins and whatever, then to Rome. And he was going around Rome and he's looking at everything. And then he came across, which is my favourite building in the entire world, which is the Pantheon in the centre of Rome. And he looked at it and he said, I've got to do that. Now, when you look at, when you've got an image of William Brown Street, you've got all those wonderful buildings, and also you've got columns on buildings and frontage. So he decided not to put like a frontage on, if you know what I mean, with columns. Like what's on the Walker, the Walker Gallery, and what's on the Sessions House. So he decided to go against that, putting there these, the portcullis, shall we say. And he just built the roundness of the building itself. That's the Pantheon. Because the Pantheon was designed by Emperor Hadrian, because that was his hobby. He loved architecture, Emperor Hadrian. So he designed 2,000 years ago. 2,000 years ago, and it's still being utilised today. It's a church and a dome, but he couldn't quite figure how to tighten the dome up, you know, to make it one, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
there's a gap in the top of it round, and Cornelius Sherlock, you know, he did everything because if you get an aerial view of the wonderful building there, you see the gap in the dome. You can't see the dome the way it is, the way that photographs take. But it's a beautiful build. I love classical, neoclassical stuff.
It's
Very,
not only is it a absolutely magnificent building, but the fact that he was so brave to be individual. I mean, obviously, we face the same problem today, where fundamentally it's someone putting up money to build a building, and for generations now we've gone the easy route and built glass houses. Build a glass house. They've got no identity, no feeling, no um, impact on the community. But these buildings are like individual statements, aren't they?
yeah. But
Sort of like,
as I said there, you know, I didn't know he was putting these, honestly. Like there's the building there to the right,
yeah,
and as I said about the dome, um, right in the dome,
I see.
that's there the reading rooms,
Yeah.
and there's the dome there. There's the dome. Absolutely brilliant. But
So,
what I'm trying to say is, when Cornelius Sherlock designed it, obviously he wasn't going to have an open, you know, centre, so he covered it. But he left it open so that sunlight or daylight could come in, simply because that's what was happening in the Pantheon, if you know what I mean. And they
yeah,
still never covered it in Rome. They've
well,
never covered it in Rome. It's
how,
still open as Emperor Hadrian
how beautiful,
designed it.
because the main reason to go in this room is to read something, to check
Yeah,
something,
yeah,
and
yeah.
the light and everything.
But isn't that beautiful?
Yeah,
And when you go in there, you know, there's some people who've never been in there.
yeah,
If you're in Liverpool, just go and have a look at these wonderful bits. Just go in. It's a library. And when you go in there, right in the centre, where you can see, you know, there's a few little red chairs around it. That's a lamp. Just have a look at the lamp, where you can actually sit around and read your book around that lamp, right in the centre.
yeah,
Beautiful,
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
And that's Cornelius Sherlock designed everything.
Amazing, beautiful piece of art.
Of course, it's a piece of art, and this is what we want. You see, this is what it's all about. This is history. This is our history.
Yeah,
It's it's unique, if you like. It's
yes.
unique in every sense. Funny enough, I got this the other day. I was just looking for something and I found it. Just let me. And it goes right back. This particular thing, it goes right back. And that's our Lord Mayor at the time. And it
Wow.
goes right back to our 600th birthday.
Oh,
700th birthday, I'm sorry.
well, we were
Yeah,
kids then, weren't we? So,
yeah, it's, I can't read you that's all out, you know. And it was a Christmas special, but it was done around the First World War. And there's where you can see some soldiers, you see.
yeah, yeah.
And this was given out to our soldiers, unfortunately, in the trenches. And
Wow.
it's all about Liverpool, you know, what's going on. And they just called it the Liverpool News. And it was for the soldiers' sake. How about that?
That's
A little booklet.
wonderful.
It is. And I was looking through things and I came across it. Wow, we haven't seen this for years.
So, was that shipped out to serving soldiers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When soldiers were going to the front as well, they had them. And others, they had bags of them, piles of them to give out to all the Liverpool lads. Liverpool Regiment, especially the Liverpool Scottish.
Yeah.
The Liverpool Scottish. So they're the only two that's there, unfortunately. I'll see if there's any more. No, I'll see if there's any more. So I'll go on to this again, to the wonderful map, because when you look at the map,
The baths.
I don't think I can move it, I must be able to, surely. Oh, yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. There it is.
There you
Just
are.
bear with me on this.
Yeah, the white glove.
The white glove. But when you look at the way Liverpool was at the time, and I'm going to show you something here. And these lads never ever get mentioned, ever, unfortunately. And it's the Chinese, right? And the Chinese during the war, obviously they've been here since 1826 in Pitt Street. They made their community. Anyway, obviously they were in the war as well, and they never get mentioned. And there was lots of sailors as well, Chinese sailors on the merchant ships. And anyway, the convoys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, they never get mentioned. And they were staying around. Just bear with me on this again. Right? Now, they were staying here in the sailors' home. Right?
Yeah.
Now, obviously you're talking wartime. You're talking wartime. And the unfortunate thing is that they had to go and find lodgings. And the lodgings, stay with me, I always forget the name of this church. I really do. Just forget the name of the church. Now, don't forget, you're talking the dockside. And this is where the Luftwaffe were bombing. This is the main blitz.
Yeah.
So where they couldn't stay there, they actually stayed. I don't know whether it's there or there. Lodging house. There's a lodging house.
Yeah.
So that was full up. This was full up, unfortunately. So they stayed, as I said, either here, this little row of terraces, or there, in a lodging house. And it was blown up. It was, and they were all killed. 48 of them. 48 sailors, Chinese sailors. And nothing ever gets mentioned about them. And they never kick up a fuss, what about us, we never get mentioned, the Chinese.
And
it's sad that they never got mentioned in this.
Such a glorious part of Liverpool's culture.
Yeah.
As with all of us so-called immigrants. Yeah, absolutely shocking. I'd never heard that.
But that's what I mean. We've got great history. And the unfortunate thing is, with the great history that we have, how can I say this? There's some parts that I'm not saying are deliberately left out. I'm not saying that, but it's just that when people are talking, say, like about the or writing about the May Blitz, it's not that they know about it because it's not written down by someone at the time. So you have to dig deep, if you know what I mean, to find out about
I,
these sailors.
I do. I get a niggling sensation in my head that this is back to classism and the great British institution of snobbery and values and importance on certain classes of people.
Yes, yes, totally agree. I totally agree with you there. And when you look at the Albert Dock here,
Yeah,
it's incredible. It's incredible. And then the custom house. I've spoken about the custom house, obviously. But when I brought, especially television crews around, I had two Japanese lads
yeah,
on 2 days and two different channels, different TV channels in Japan. And they asked me, so I went on alternative days with them. And just let me show you something. Now, you've got to imagine this is the Albert Dock today,
yeah,
right? And I get about there, right? You can look right over there now, obviously. So I get about there, say around here, looking over to the Albert Dock, right? About there, a different angle. And when I've explained and shown them from that angle, it's remarkable because, as I said, you've only got to look at how far back the water is. This is all reclaimed land. All this, that's where the water came up to around here. Right, so all this is reclaimed land, including there, Shabas Park, which it is now.
yeah.
So that's how we've got a fantastic dock system. But when I've shown them from here over there, and I said to them at the time, even the German television crew, I was showing them the same, and they went, "That's remarkable," because as you look over, what you see is the Albert Dock in a different light, because you're looking out and it's in the middle, believe it or not, of the Mersey. It's built on more or less in the middle of the River Mersey. And I say to them, think about the engineering that went into building that. There was no other system like it in a piece of engineering like it's in the world. And that was the very first sort of dock system with warehouses. Because the merchants at the time were saying, people were just going down there and pilfering. They were stealing.
Yeah.
Because they were just left on the quayside, all the goods, no matter what goods they were. And yet they were being pilfered. And then Jesse Hartley came about. He was the harbour master at the time. And he designed this incredible thing. That's what he designed. Brick. Pure brick.
Yeah.
And he had to go down. He had to leave, if you like, here, open to the water, and there's where it came in and out. in and out there, right? And out again. It's it's incredible. It really is incredible piece
Yes.
of engineering
And
when
we
you look at it.
take so much for granted. We walk around it now and people are looking for shops or a coffee shop or whatever. And it's like, it is one of those wow moments. But what is so fortunate, we were blessed. And you brought it right to the fore a couple of months ago when we talking that. So the bombings, it was right there. So the bombings didn't hit it. But what nearly destroyed it was the town planners in the
Yeah,
early 80s who
yeah.
said, it's old, let's get rid of it.
And
And
we're
it,
very lucky in that respect as well. And I'll tell you for why. They were there pulling it down, you know. There was some parts of it that was demolished. And Michael Heseltine, the Tory minister, uh, he was more. He wasn't sacked. He walked away from a thing called Westland, and he was at a meeting, you know, and Thatcher, she sold it off Westland to the Americans, and these were helicopters, right? About helicopters, he said, they're the best helicopters. Why are we selling them to the Americans? So anyway, he walked out, and rather than get rid of Michael Heseltine, Thatcher demoted him. She tried to humiliate him by demoting him to become Minister of Merseyside. There was no such post as Minister of Merseyside. Never has been, and there's not one now. So she demoted him to be Minister of Merseyside because Liverpool was looked on unfavourably at the time, and it was the time of the managed decline episodes in our history. So he came up and he had a look around and he went around here. He just went around here and he seen it. He said, what are you doing here? He said, you know, because some part of it was pulled down. Just part of it, that's all. And he said, oh, we're demolishing it. Now, Michael Heseltine knew about this, knew about the Albert Dock, he knew about it.
the history.
No one had to tell him anything about it. And he said, you're pulling this down? And he said, yeah. He said, why? He said, well, look at it, you know. And he saved it. He said, don't you dare pull that down. Don't you dare. It's the first in the world, he said. The first warehouse blocks, you know, each block in the world. And you want to pull it down. It's a magnificent piece of engineering, architecture, and it's Liverpool heritage.
Yeah.
It's the first in the world heritage.
So
And that's
fantastic.
how, you know, we saved Michael Heseltine.
Well, I think there's at least 100,000 scousers who would buy him a pint for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And he became very fond of Liverpool, by the way. And he got all the funding and everything. He fought for the funding. Now, don't forget that, you know, his government was looking at a managed decline of Liverpool. Yet he was getting the funding to do it up.
Yeah.
And he done it up. Just like what we were talking about a week or two ago. And George Melly sitting outside a Tesco in a little purple shirt with safety farmhouse, Liverpool. And this is down in London or one of the home counties. And he had a little box where he was getting money. And that's what, you know, you compare these two lads, Heseltine, who saved that, and you look at now the likes of the Palmos, the
Yeah.
Palmos in
Sense.
Sefton Park, and
Yeah.
George Melly saved it because it became decrepit. It was falling to bits, and I think they were going to get rid of it anyway. And he saved it. He saved it.
Well, do you know what
Oh.
we've been talking over the past few weeks, and I've not been in the zone to do any big exhibitions and stuff and go into the middle of the people you describe really, and play that game again. But I would love to do something historic at the Palm House with you and a series of words of people, and just like one night or 2 nights.
Do you know what? Yeah, there used to be a thing every summer, and it was called Lark in the Park,
That's right.
and it was on bands. Do you remember it?
Yeah, in the 80s. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot
Well,
of people I was playing
come on.
with, a lot of people that I was playing this circuit, played there. Yeah.
On the Lark in the Park, they asked me to give a talk.
Yeah.
I said, you don't want me to be giving a talk? I said, there's all young people. So anyway, they said, will you do a talk? You know, it's for something different for other people.
Yeah.
While it's going on. I said, yeah, okay. So I just took it. So I went up, and it was a great experience because there was all these young people. They're expected to see bands and everything. But in the audience, this was inside the Palm House itself. So there was all these, older generation, shall I say, to come to see Frank. So they were all sitting down. You had all these young lads and girls, and they were coming in, to see what's going on. So anyway, I got on the stage, and he was expecting me to give songs, to be honest. Because when I started talking, sort of about some history, and I was talking about George Melly, strangely enough. I was talking about him and, about Moncur, and he designed the actual Palm House itself, and, giving them that, and what was happening at the time, and the statues, the very important statues of Henry the Navigator, Columbus, Peter Pan, which is outside and on the grounds of the farmhouse. So I was given this talk, and these lads and girls, they were all a bit boisterous, at the beginning, and then all of a sudden they just stopped, and then they sat down and they listened, and it was great because, as I said, they just come up to see the bands and jump about, you know what I mean, when the bands were playing. And, at the end of it, the talk I gave, one of them came up to me, a few of them, and this lad's went like that. Do you know what? We was expecting, this is how I got to know, they were expecting me to sing. They thought I was going to be a crooner, honestly, because of all these, older people, older generation. They said, we thought you were going to be a crooner, so we were going to listen to you.
But you do
And
that.
then when we started talking, about the history of the place, we
You know
went,
what? I think that's fantastic. I think that is a physical representation of what we've been talking about the history of the city and the cultures that come in and mix, and we all resolve and we all learn from each other, whatever your age,
Yeah, it's like I've said this on many of occasions, Anthony. I've always regretted not talking to my grandmother, because she used to talk about years past, And I used
yeah,
to go, and I wanted to get out and, from a young age, get out and play football or, as I got a bit older, go out and, with my mates and go for a bevy or whatever. And I never sat down with it. And to get information off it, of certain things. And you just, everybody, whoever's out there, if you had grandmothers and granddads who have long passed, and it was mostly grandmothers who gave you the information
yeah,
about what it was like.
yeah.
And it was so sad, that I didn't
You're not
take
the
any
Frank.
notice.
I think it's just a generational thing. We
Yeah,
were grown up enough to 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 interact
yeah,
uh, at that time, and by the time we were able to talk and understand and you know where do we come from, what's that all about, they were gone.
yes, yeah, they were
And
gone.
such is life. Uh, it's different cultures again. Chinese in China and Sweden, of all places now. Um, in Sweden, they do a wonderful thing where it's like what we would once upon a time call an old folks' home, but a modern version of that. But they encourage students to move in as well. So students are studying and they interact with the old people, and so both sides are exchanging views and learning from each other. You know, can you imagine how great that would have been for
Yeah,
us? You
yeah.
know, as as kids.
Well, this is, what we're going to be doing next week, as you know, on the history show, is
Yeah,
characters from Liverpool. And we've known some remarkable characters, and that's who we'll be talking about. And some of the characters, as I
yeah,
said, that you yourself have painted for the exhibition of what 100 Liverpool heads thinking as one, which unites those 100 heads together and from every different walks of life, from every profession possible. And
yeah,
you'll be talking about at least five or six of them, seven of them, whatever,
yeah.
next week.
That's wonderful, Frank. Yeah,
So
because
we'll be,
it's we don't really stop to think about it much, but we talk about legends and legendary people and great people, uh, women and gentlemen, as if they're past, they're all gone. But we know it's not the case. These legends live amongst us. These
yeah.
characters lived amongst us and still do. And and
Well, you've only got to think of. I'll have to be finishing now. I'll have to go on to the football fans.
yeah,
I'll do the next hour. Well,
yeah,
in
you've
a
got to
moment or two, football. It's like Charles Dickens. I've mentioned Dickens loads of times.
yeah,
And Charles Dickens loved coming to Liverpool. He loved it. He really did.
I think
Sarah Bernhardt,
yeah,
she loved coming to Liverpool, the great actors.
yeah,
Loved it. Just loved it.
yeah.
We had Bruce Springsteen. I should have gone last night with Francine. Um,
See
I
Bruce,
couldn't go. I couldn't go, unfortunately, because the way I am,
yeah,
the way I am. So she brought her cousin,
yeah,
but she showed me, she said, "Hey, Dad," and she gave me a live performance,
yeah,
and everybody seemed to be enjoying themselves.
yeah,
And I was absolutely delighted just sitting there. And, she said, "Hey, Dad, for you."
yeah,
And she had it looking down at the boss, I really wanted to see him. So I'm a
Oh,
big fan of Bruce.
he's a great working class hero, to
Yeah.
quote one of our own.
Yes.
He really is.
Paul McCartney told him, I'm going back. I think he played up in Newcastle somewhere years ago. And McCartney said to him, you want to go to Liverpool? You want to go to Liverpool? And it was, do you ever remember when McCartney played at Anfield?
Yeah, yeah.
I was there. I was there.
Ah,
And it was fantastic.
yeah,
Living that time and all those
yeah.
fireworks going off. Oh, it was incredible. And
It's,
this is when he says he wants to play in Liverpool. And look where he played at Anfield.
yeah, because we
And as he said, the only champions.
Yeah, well, I mean that I know is brilliant, but we get onto this another day. But we don't have a concert stadium worthy of
No,
big name people, do we?
no.
And
Do you know what? I was the historical consultant for Liverpool One, as you know. And I went to a meeting, and there was this Scottish fella, and he was part of this stuff. And he said, yeah, we're going to build a 9,000-seater arena. So I'm sitting there, listening to this fella. And it's going to be wonderful for Liverpool. And he's with this other fella from Manchester. And he's going, oh, yes, it's going to be, oh, wonderful. So he said, any questions? I put my hand up. I said, I've got a question. I said, we don't want a 9,000-seater arena. We want a 25,000-seater arena. And they would go, oh, and oh, no, why? Why can't you give us it? Why can't you give us a 25,000-seater arena? Tell me why. And do you know what their excuse was? I'll tell you what their excuse was. Transport. And I went mad, to be honest. I kicked off and was getting told to shut up and sit down and whatever. And now they've come out and said, yeah, they added an extra 1,000, so we got a 10,000 seat, and it's still not big enough. Still not big enough, unfortunately. But anyway, I'll have to go on to football, Anthony.
that's fantastic, Frank.
And I'll see you next week. It'll be next Monday. It'll be
Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Characters. Don't forget the characters.
I will send them across to Jason tomorrow, and then he can do with them whatever you and he want. And then, yeah, Monday I'll be there.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank.
See you later. See you later.
Chat.
Okay.
There's a famous old song called In My Liverpool Home. One of the lines in it says, we meet under a statue exceedingly bare. Well, the exceedingly bare statue is covered up at the moment because this wonderful old Lewis's building is having a major facelift. When Dickie Lewis is bare, this is what he looks like. Its official title is Liverpool Resurgence, but it's nicknamed locally as Dickie Lewis. And to this day, I still don't know why. He hasn't always been on the entrance to the store. He was sculpted by Jacob Epstein when this building rose from the ashes of the 1941 May Blitz and celebrated its centenary. Once again, when all the sheeting and the scaffolds is taken away, history will roll on and a new chapter for Dickie Lewis will begin. Hey, remember this at the top of Church Street? The famous unravelled rope horse. Well, as you can see, it's been relocated here on the Strand. Many people ask what its proper title is. Well, in fact, it's called The Great Escape. And as you can see, it's a man restraining a horse from getting away. It's bronze and was sculpted by Edward Cronshaw in 1994. Some people ask, has it something to do with our famous Grand National? Or does the title, The Great Escape, suggest the great migration of many people of different nationalities sailing to the New World right here from Liverpool docks during the 19th century? So it's up to you to decide which one of these suggestions it could be. After all, Liverpool was once known as the gateway to the world. We're here on one of the most famous streets on the edge of the Pier Head. It was laid out in 1740. It was named, in fact, after the famous Strand in London, as was some other Liverpool thoroughfares were. While we're walking down the Strand, let me tell you about other London and Liverpool connections. Wapping, Kensington, Soho, and of course, Pall Mall. This is the Albert Dock and it runs alongside the Strand. And if we go back to the days of the press gangs, during the 18th century, the 1700s, ordinary people who were going about their daily businesses could easily have been smacked over the head and taken on board a Navy frigate to sail for king and country. Let's not forget either, wives and children were often left without their breadwinner, leaving them to suffer hard times. There was one such story about a lodging house landlady finding a dead body in one of her bedrooms. The landlady thought, what's the best way to get rid of the body without causing any fuss? So what did she do? She was a smart one. She quickly thought of the press gang, so she informed them that there was a drunk in the bed. The press gang didn't waste any time and ran straight to the lodging house and supposedly took the body away and put him aboard a ship. The press gang had their offices on the Strand, and I don't think that they had a big sign saying press gang officers. Do you?
I didn't know he was putting that up, you know. I thought he was just going to come straight onto the football. Anyway, I made myself a cup of tea. Made up with that. So, yeah, Liverpool, lads. As I said, you know, we've signed Frimpong. And you're getting all these, you know, about this Vert lad. And also Kirkes. And then there's speculation around Lucho Diaz going. I know one's gone, and that's Kevin Kelleher. He's gone. Great goalkeeper. Now there's talk of, I don't know whether you know this, that Saudi, some team in Saudi won Allison. He's the greatest goalkeeper. I don't think he'd be going anywhere, to be honest. He's the best goalkeeper in the world. Albeit that he's a bit injury prone, isn't he? He does get injured. So he could go next season, to be honest. So we've got this Mohamed Billy. God blame you. Why can't they give us some like little names? Like Verts, Verts sounds alright, Kirkers sounds alright. But when you get into this Cavarashela and Marmadish Valley, you can't sing a song about him, could you? To be honest. So what do you think, boys? We haven't got anybody yet, and that's the point. Can I just go through a few things? The likes of the Anfield Road there. How interesting, aren't they? Do you think it's true what they say? An artist grows as they age, or do you think the artist peaks and that's it? Maybe the only skill you can still be great when older. I think that's a cracking. I really think that's an unbelievable comment because it's a sort of profession that you've only got to look at Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo. Incredible artists, incredible, and not only paint but they sculpted as well. You've only got to look at the famous circle what Da Vinci did. The famous circle, a freehand. It's perfect. It's a perfect circle. Then you've got the two fingers, haven't you? Touching them, the lightning. That's what you call imagination. Fantastic. But I'm not the expert on I love Da Vinci, as I said before. I love Turner. I think he's a constable. I love the Constable's Highway. I really do. I don't like Picasso. I love Matisse. I think he's great. And Claude Monet. I love all those pictures. But Van Gogh doesn't do it for me, unfortunately. And Simon says, I should have gone down these. I'm awfully sorry. I'm gonna ask Jason to leave these up. Try and leave them not, for next week. These questions. I think that some great questions there. The comments. Christopher, I like cave paintings and the hieroglyphics. They tell teach a story before books became a thing. Yeah, of course they did. Of course they did. You've only got to look at who was it? It wasn't Leonardo da Vinci or any of them, but it was an Italian painter, and he painted. I showed it last week or the week before, and in the sky there's a UFO. A UFO. But you've got them in very famous cave paintings too. UFOs. You've got them on these things that have been found. I'm not talking about hieroglyphics either. UFOs, like fellas sitting in chairs, like in a spacecraft, going back thousands of years. So, I remember that myself, George, and it was Miss Sweat. I think it was, what was her name? Name came to me then. Rubesteyer, was it? Rubesteyer, something like that. And hey Frankie, if you're wanting a garden, you can always come around to mine with your chair. And while I'm at work, give the etching grass a cut. Well, I hope you find happiness back in Anfield, though. Yeah, I really need something, to be honest, you know. I really do. I'm stuck in all the time. Hope you sound all incredible architecture, says Paul Milligan. Yes. Yeah, there's one there, look. The Anfield. That's a brilliant point, certainly, about character of modern buildings. For me, as a builder, it really angers me, the destruction of what I call bloody hard work, art. We're all artists in a way, you know, to be honest. Every one of us. You know, if you put your thinking cap on. The true history can repeat itself. It can also be destroyed before our very eyes. Look at how beautiful buildings have been and replaced by monstrosity. That angers me. That angers me. But you get people, as I said, you know, they wanted to pull down. They wanted to pull down. It's like Frank Bosch, all that. I think he was talking about Bruce. Bruce. You know, you've got the likes of people who haven't a fucking clue. Sorry to swear, like, but you haven't. They know no history. They know no history. That's all. And that's the sad indictment about some of our people who run the city, having a clue. Next week I'm gonna get Jason to the show a building, and he wanted to pull it down, and you're gonna go, oh, go away, honestly. And really, they wanted to pull it down, and it was one of the first. I'm not going to explain it now, but I will explain it on the history show next week when I'm on without. And it's just thinking about it upsets me. Really. Simon says Diaz and his partner have already been on social media and ways saying his goodbyes. He only wants a Barca move. LFC coming out. He is not for sale as they want to push the price up. Given Bruno's move failed. Yeah, that's it. Phenomenal. Yeah, but they haven't got the money. And there's Liverpool. I think they've got a fucking cheat, to be honest. They're saying we're paying installments. This is Barca, you know, for their Diaz. I don't want him to go. I do not want him to go. But that's just me. That's my opinion. But you've got us saying, oh, we know you want to give us the money, you know, we don't want installments. Yeah, every play that we get, we're saying, will you there take it in installments? How hypocritical is that? Please. Toscana. I think Stuart Sutcliffe would have been a world famous artist if he'd lived longer. He did so much in his short 21-year life. I was lucky enough to see one of his paintings at the Walker Gallery. Yeah, it was a weird one. His death was a weird one as well. And I think, I don't like saying this, but they were saying like, oh, he had a fight with John Lennon and John Lennon beat him up and all this. And that was the cause of his death. One of the causes, of his young death. And I dismissed that, to be honest. Because he was the fifth Beatle, Stuart Sutcliffe. I was reading how the Premier League can't stop the likes of Chelsea selling hotels and the women's team to offset financial fair play. They're always doing it. It's a disgrace. It's allowed to happen. Also, City still sitting on their charges. Yeah. You've only got to look at Everton. And with Burnley as well. They got points deducted. So it's a load of nonsense, to be honest. I'm not saying it's all corrupt and cheating and that, but there is something going on. There is something going on. But as I said, we keep our heads here. We keep our heads. One thing, Springsteen, he was there. He went with his lad Dylan. He said, "Are you going?" I said, "No," because I bought 2 tickets. I'm going back months ago. I said to Francine, "Do you fancy coming to see Bruce Springsteen with me?" She went, I didn't even know it. She said, "I love Springsteen." I said, "Well, it's a part of your birthday present anyway, to come and see her with me." And I couldn't go. I really couldn't go the way I am physically. And do you know what she said to me today? She said, "Dad, you would have been at home." I said, "I know." She said, "No, where we were," she said, obviously they were the older generation and they all had walking sticks and telling us to sit down. She said, "You would have been all right with your walking stick." And I thought she was taking my granddaughter, but my granddaughter wasn't too good. But yes, she wanted to go because she loves musicals and concerts, and so she took her cousin with her. Big fan of the Bruce anyway. So, and Steve was there, me mate. He phoned me up. "I'm going." "See you there." I said, "I can't go, Steve. Can't go, mate." Simon, Franco, it's great FSG putting the hands in the pocket at long last. However, from the names of the players earmarked to leave, I do fear that ultimately, we may see greater quality but smaller squad. We've always had a big squad, but it's been very limited in quality. And I think you're right there. I think you're right. We could end up with a squad that are capable of beating anybody. I just wish we could have got that Kvaratskhelia. I would have loved him. I'd love him Cappy still, to be honest. And Dino, he said, I disagree, Simon. I understand the statements from Diaz on his bed. His bed. That you're referring to. But I think it comes down to interpretation. I never got the impression you mentioned. To me, they were expressing how proud they are to be part of something so special and historic, and that the club will always be a part of them. The thing is, you see, Dino, he really thought he was going because there was heavy talk about him leaving, even on social media, the fans. Well, I think Lucho's on his way, and this fella's on his way, and this fella, and whatever. And that's why he says, and it will be a part, anyone who plays for Liverpool, is has got that, like, feeling of, well, I played for Liverpool sort of thing. It's the way it is. At the house of the champions. That's what he says, wasn't it? And you see, he left flowers, didn't he, on a card on the memorial to Brucey. Sorry, I'll have to have a slip for this. Springsteen gave 20 grand to the miner, excuse me, during the strike. Top bloke, says George said. Was that when he was up in Newcastle? No. Mind you, he could have done. But I'm going back to 84 with the miners' strike. Simon says, will you walk with me out on the line? 'Cause, baby, I'm just scared and lonely riding. But I got to know how it feels. The boss. The longer this Vert's tale drags on, the more it's looking less and less likely that it's going to happen. And for me, that's the straw that breaks the camel's back. If others can't begin to see through these owners, then they never will. Well, I said at the time, Dino, why couldn't they were saying, oh, wait till after the this international deal play. I said, well, why can't Liverpool just go over to see him? They would be allowed to go and visit him, or while they were training or whatever. Why didn't they just go over with a shirt, contract, and just say, yeah? That's what I said. And he got on a divvy today, and I was listening to him, and I thought, oh, fuck off. And he said, oh, he only reads off there. He actually reads like what pundits are saying. These sports are like Ornstein and these other Fabrizio. This is what you get, and he's reading from these people. And this is what the Mail is saying. Fuck off. This is what the Mail is saying. And he said, someone said to him, how would you like to play? Are you looking forward to Liverpool? And this is the fella, not mentioning his fucking name, not worth it. And he went, nodded. He nodded. You just fucking look to him. And he's doing that then all the time. This is what we have to fucking put up with. I was sick. I was sick. I wanted him to win, but it was a. Someone said as well, well, at least Liverpool got beat by, and that Enrique said, oh yeah, we were beaten by, sorry, the toughest team was against Liverpool. You have to fucking say that because we beat them at the Parc des Princes. You have to. I don't like that Enrique. I didn't like him at Barca or anything. So next week, all you wonderful football fans, I'll be putting all your names in little strips of paper. Cut them out. See the dedication I'm putting to you. And then I pull it out of the cap, the name, and there was no one from New York. Diaz says it's a part of the summer to speak to other clubs. I think he will stay. I hope he does, Edward. I really do. And Toscana, Pauline Sutcliffe's sister, did admit she lied about blaming Lennon regarding her brother's death, saying she was told a lie in order to sell a book on Stewart. Pete Best defended Lennon. That's strange, mentioning that. I never ever believed it, to be honest. I never believed that, to be honest, Toscana. I'm glad you mentioned that, actually. Really am. Thank you, Toscana. Simon says, the reason I came to that conclusion is that Slot has already mentioned last season I know. And he said it a few weeks ago, didn't he, before the season ended. Squad's less rotate. I do worry we don't make the mistake Arteta has done at Arsenal. Remember when we won the league and I was doing the pod the day we beat Spurs and we won the league, and I said, I hope my prophecy doesn't come true, actually. I said, our last 4 games, 4 games, whatever it was, I said, all these teams will be wanting to beat us. They'll be going all out to beat us because we're champions. I said, and because I have a reflection on next season too. I hope that prophecy doesn't come true. But I was right in everyone trying to beat us. Just wait if the transfers don't happen, then you can comment, just cool your jets, lads. No, absolute, George. Absolute. But this does seem to be dragging on. As I said before, George, this could have easily have been done long before they played the other night. If our lads would have gone over with a shirt and a contract just going to sign, took a photograph and said, hey, I signed. And then whenever Elton settled down and he comes over to Liverpool, he could have been all formal and everything, standing on the pitch with a shirt. It's like having a wedding and you decide to get married in Jamaica or somewhere, Barbados, as they seem to be doing, and coming back, and but holding a party here for the people who couldn't afford it. It's like that. It could be like that. Simon, into it awful. I was shocked how bad that got in the final, but to be honest, PSG were the best team. Yeah, they were terrible. And then there was riots, wasn't there? It wasn't the Italians, by the way. Wasn't the Italians? Isn't it strange how troubles always in fucking Paris, by the way? You noticed that? I was talking to some fella today. My next door neighbour came to see me. Anyway, this in-law of him, came with him. And it's about opinions. I don't know how it came about, but he's talking about Americans. And he said, hates Trump. I said, okay, yeah, fine. And he's talking about Greenland and Canada. I said, okay. I'll talk about it on Friday, what was said. And I just got, in fact, I started chatting. Really wound me up. And one thing he wound me up about, he said to me, more or less said to me, don't you read the papers? Fucking blew up over it. Shouted. And I mean, I fucking shouted. Don't you read the papers? You can't listen to podcasters. Let you know all about it on Friday. The current affairs. Don't you read the papers? Mention the freedom of speech, the freedom of the press. I said, there's someone in fucking jail. You talking about freedom of speech? Someone's in fucking jail for a tweet. 18 months. Fucking freedom of speech. They have a small mention for Kelleher, who left the club with all our best wishes. He is a top lad, and he embodies what a true academy player he is. He did what was best for the club and himself. Remember when Coutinho was being lambasted? Everyone calling it, horrible. Coutinho signed a contract so Liverpool would get money. No one forget it. They forget about that, or they haven't a fucking clue about it. And there's Trent with his fake. I'm talk about it. And I blame Slot for all that, for splitting the whole of it, the fan base over there. Trent should never have played. Ever. Simon, guys, let's help Frank get 1K subscribers. Franco, are you planning to let us know whether you're doing a Verge and Mo? What do you mean a Verge? Let us know whether you're doing. Oh yeah, I get you. Yeah. No, I'm not, when the season starts, because you're good people on here. He's a good people. And I will have the posts. I will have the lads up. You know, talking. Simply because we're I'm not just saying this, by the way. Do you know what? I want to sneeze. You know? Do you know when you get one of those? It's horrible, isn't it? Do you know? I'm not just saying this because, as I said, I was talking and I was saying, well, our podcast, the football. I said, but what's going on? Look. We're not like these other podcasts saying, oh, look who we're getting. Oh, we're great. We're going to get in. So we fucking had enough of all that. And we all wait. Like more or less, Dino said it, didn't he? We wait until they're sitting at a desk, looking up, going, signing the paper. A contract. Then going out in the pitch and going like that with his shit. That's what I said. And that's what I said about every one of you lot. Snapey, my concern is not signing a sick. That's my concern. As good as Virgil is, he's getting older, and a young orthodox defensive mid in front of him is ever more essential. Personally, reading the German media, I have no worries about Wirtz. And he reads the German media because he can speak German. He can speak German. Deutschland über alles. Snape. My concern, yes. Keep hearing moaning fans saying Frimpong and Kirkers can't defend. I'm like, fuck's sake, do you watch Liverpool team sit back against us 90% of our matches? So we need attackers, not. And it's true that though, isn't it? And so apparently Wirtz has done a side on his side. Hang on. Apparently Wirtz, am I saying that Snapey right? Wirtz. Florian Wirtz is going to become a Liverpool player. Yes, Liverpool player. Wirtz has done his side all paperwork. Oh, fucking hell. I had to say it. I had to say lines, you know. Fuck it. And I said, I forgot to say that. And it was like alliteration. They were the S's. Like the slippery snakes slithers in the snow, something similar to that. And that's alliteration, but it was about fucking gangster, And I said, I can't fucking do this. I said, this is ridiculous. So he had another actor, and he had a king on his head here, with the lines on. Look, I had to look like that as well. Do you like that bit of that? Well, that was good, that flag. I said, you fucking try and say that without looking at I'm looking at the floor there. It's terrible. So that's what you're there, Simon. That's what you started off with. Apparently, Wirtz has done his side, all paperwork done. But it looks like FSG and Leverkusen arguing over 20 million euros. Just typical FSG, always trying to screw a few quid off the transfer. Done for years. As our Francine said, that's the way the Americans work. She's not just talking about FSC, but all American business. George, hate to say this. Do you know what it's like when you say that? Every time someone says anything like that, you go, I'm not a racist, but, yeah. And at the end, you go, I've got a black mate, But they're just labels, We've got labels, unfortunately. I hate to say this, but I agree with Paul Scholes about midfielders. He commented saying about having a 6 or 8, a DM or a wide AM. He said footballers should play everywhere. It's true. He's all right, Paul Scholes, wasn't he? They're better when they retire because they say nice things when they're playing. Oh, everyone forever. Oh, I hate that Liverpool. Franco can't wait. Elon and Trump. And was British intel? Yes. Of course it was. They couldn't fuck it. They've got no men to do it. They haven't got the intelligence. They haven't got the capability to do what they did. And to go after, this is the big thing, to go after these bombers now. All these, where they were, they had to be on show because of a treaty, they're taking off with fucking nuclear bombs and dropping them. That was the treaty. America's the same. These have to be shown, satellite images. Any fucking missing, these have to say one caught fire. I'm not saying because of an attack, but one caught fire. They're right on the phone to the counterparts, which is Washington. One of our planes is being on fire. You will get the images and we will be removing it. You see, so that's what it was like. So, Siberia, Murmansk, Arctic Circle, well, it's on the tundra, near the Arctic Circle. What were they doing there? How would they fucking know? How would they know? They were trying to get upper hands with these negotiations, and this is the day before. You had 2 Americans, well, you had 3 Americans. You had that Blumenthal, didn't you? Lindsey Graham and Mike Pompeo. A couple of days before, running up a bill of $1 million in a hotel. So for that to be $1 million for a couple of nights, they must have got rid of all the guests there and just took over the hotel with the entourage. And he's gone above the Call of Duty. That's great because he's gone above as President of the United States to get the go-ahead. William Blake, you won't know, the poet, not today. William Blake, 1794. He wrote a poem called London. I wander through each chartered street near where the chartered Thames does flow. That's how it begins. And then further down it says, and as the hapless soldier sighs, as the hapless soldier sighs, as blood runs down palace walls, as the blackening church of Paul's. He was brought up for sedition, for that, treachery, because he was having a go at the state, the palace walls. Blood runs down palace walls, and it's like what this Lindsey Graham's done, sedition, and they won him for it. I'm talking about commentators. He really won him for it. Throw him in jail. And that fucking Pompeo. What was he doing there? He's got nothing to do with the government. Anyway, that's what Friday night. Elon Musk, Elon and Trump and the British intelligence involved. Thoughts on Professor Michael Clarke? I think he is a balanced contributor. Of course he is. Of course he is. Have a look at I watch him. I love him. And it's Judging Freedom. Judge Napolitano. And he's got great guests. He has great guests. Judge Napolitano. The Duran. Have a look at them. The Duran. Alex Christoforou and Alexander Mercurius. Brilliant there. Great journalists. Redacted. Brilliant show. Nice to see Kelleher's old team get a percentage of his fee. I thought he should have had more, because I think Kelleher is a great keeper. He should have got more for him. That's just my opinion. And I didn't know that they get a percentage. In the good old days, we only found out if LFC had made a new signing when the players were holding the scarf a lot. Yeah, they couldn't afford the shirt then. Yeah. Have you got a scarf on you? Yeah, throw that on. Our new signing. Now with social media, it's people posting crap to get attention. That's a cracker. But as I said, I was saying to this person about this particular channel, and it's comments like that. It's comments like what you're all saying. Every one of you. Frankie says the outfield. Do you think it's time for go? Yeah. And Elliot, yeah. I do. Joe with his injuries and Elliot because, yeah. I've always say, look, I've always said this throughout years, actually. We need excuse me. We need players who can play 90 minutes. Elliot, he's better coming off the bench. But we need a player to play, right through a game. Not for a few minutes, like the last 20 or whatever. And that's why, like going back a couple of seasons ago, I was saying it's about time that we got rid of Milner and Henderson because they were only playing like bit parts. Bit parts, excuse me. So the bit parts that they were playing, I was always saying, well, why can't we get fucking shut in and bring in someone better quality that can play a full 90 minutes? But I was shouted down because, they were saying, oh, Henderson's great. Fuck off. And Millie, oh, Millie this and Millie that. Yeah, okay. I think Jürgen finally listened to what I said. He has plateaued, that's Elliot. I have a feeling, Darwin, is it being sold or is it just my worries? No, it's just your paranoia. It's that way for yours. It's got you worried. Especially when you're making the chips in the chip pan. And she starts moaning at you. Saying, have you used the proper oil? And don't make soggy ones. Snake. We play against the low back at home. Kirkers and Frimpong will stretch team defences, leaving gaps for the Vert, Salah and other forwards to exploit, hence the need for the DM to sit in, I think. Well, people will be saying, well, what about, what's his name? Gravenberch. But I've been saying, this is the third year I've been saying that it's the fourth year. Is it? I've been saying it for 3 years. Yeah, this season, fourth fucking season. For a defensive mid. Or is it 3? Yeah, so, yeah. Yeah, so, yeah. Yes, definitely a defensive mid. Number 6. Always said that, Snake. You know that. Most serious owners would have just put the proper bid in. Yeah, Edwards, yeah. I tell you now, I know all about the Zubamendi and Harry wants to stay in Spain, especially after the debacle with Arsenal now. But he could have been playing for us. Their president said, just give us the money you can have. Because we were saying, can we pay an instalment? Yet they won't accept instalments of other clubs coming in for any of our players. See? Toscana. Anfield Road. That Darwin will drive me nuts if he stays at Liverpool. And the Anfield to Tusk. I just have this feeling they will sell Diaz and Jota and buy a young guy for the wing and keep Darwin just a feeling. Only because who the fuck will bid for Darwin? He is Rashford. And Johan to the Anfield, more like Sancho. They had an obligation to buy, but paid 5 million to send them back to us. I know that we're going after a player called, fully enough, Franco Carlucci. Another attacking midfielder. Franco Carlucci. Brilliant player. Anfield Road. Johan. Yeah, good point. Apparently, he stopped Benfica getting the last payment of our initial fee for Darwin, so it must mean he is going short. Yeah, he wouldn't play him. He wouldn't play him because they'd have to add that add-on. That's why when we sign Verts, he won't be playing either. Because there's loads of fucking add-ons for him. So many games. if he goes over the allotted 15, we've got to pay them, so many million. So he'll only play 15 games for us next season. So, Frank, I love your podcast and the variety of topics you cover. We all came together. We may agree and sometimes disagree, but I always come away from your podcast more enlightened. Thank you. I wanted to talk, to be honest, on my history show, I wanted to talk about a couple of people, and you would have loved it. Honestly. And I thought, I can't. I'll have to be talking about them next week. Some of the characters. There are some that you've never heard of, and you go, what? Honestly. I'm giving a thing away as well. I'm going to show you it. Not now. I'm not going to go out and again get up. But I'll show you it next week. But you'd have to come and collect it. Honestly. You'd have to come and collect it. And you'll know why. It's not a huge thing or anything like that. It's not like a big American-sized, fridge freeze. Like that. But you'll see the delicacy of it. And you will like it. You will like it. Any one of you. Any one of you. Toscana would love it. Because, say, I know that you said they got partners and everything, and if you get it, if you win it, whatever, I'm just holding a little thing, so you'll have a chance to their thing. And your wives will be made up with it. Because it's like for one, even you would be, to be honest. And I'm giving it away. Well, thank you for that, Simon. Thank you. Christopher. No, I think Darwin has gone. They didn't want to start us at the end of the season, unless they are waiting to see how he fits in with Bates if he signs. Do you ever remember Darwin the Goat? I've got to put his name in, to win the programme. So if he wins it, I'll have to keep it myself. There it is. The last of the thing. Shame, really, that there's no fucking money. Unless, within the next week, because it'll be sorted next week. If someone, whoever's won it. But if I don't know the fucker, you know what I mean? I'm not getting it. And someone said, are you going to have another competition next year? I said, I don't know. Depends. Depends. And for Christopher, I do hope so. That he's gone with this. Darwin. George. I'm old enough to remember when forward Ray Kennedy signed for Liverpool Paisley. turns him into, the best left-sided midfielder in the league. He certainly did. Footballers should follow the Dutch model of total football. Do you think tiki-taki's gone out now? Do you think it's full heavy metal, like what Jürgen introduced? The high press? That's all the thing now today. Don't forget there are 2 transfer windows this summer. This one lasts till June the 17th. But give me your opinion. Suppose we haven't signed him on the 17th. By the 17th. What do you think will happen? Well, right, there's another window opening after these fucking things, this cup competition that we're not in. Because if we don't sign him, are Leverkusen in this cup thing? Because if they are, what if he's playing for them? That's going to be a bit dodgy, isn't it? Snakey. Johan Sancho's being another expensive mistake by you. Truth be told, not too similar to Nunes for us. And Johan to the outfield. Surely he's going, and maybe they are planning to activate his transfer percentage and sell him. Yeah. The outfield. Just watch debut of a shock and a half versus Spain. He is no Virgil, and if he thinks he is to get that contract, I wouldn't like that. He can go if he is winking at PSG, and we will just replace him. So that could mean, like, you know what the owners are like. That could mean, well, we keep all the Kwanzaa, we don't have to pay out anything for another centre half. Think about that. It's the way they work. Where they work, lads. Simon. The only problem with voting is no matter who you vote for, the government always gets it. That's him. Andrew Napolitano, proper judge. It's great. Well, it's Simon. Well, like that. Who's this? And it's your answer, Snakey. 73 million transfer fee and 300k a week wages. Expensive, all right. Who's that? I do think if the transfers go through, we will be good again. Yeah, I do answer with myself. That's what I said at the beginning. Simon to Johan. I read that Man U have 150 million more chests for players. Don't know where they get the money, but apparently, well within financial fair play. It is a shame. Is that a shame? What a disgrace that, hang on. It is a shame, what a disgrace Leckler has treated the staff at the club. I don't know too much about it, to be honest, Sam and Johan. Funny enough, we had chips. Says the Anfield. Can you see me from my balcony, Frank? Yeah, from my Juliet balcony. I've got mirrors, you know, like the way you can put a mirror, you know, like over there, and you can see, like you're driving a car, and you can see behind you. Got them on buildings, right to your back kitchen coming through. Johan to Simon. The rat was saying he nearly went bankrupt in December to justify the sacking. Shameless. That's, I'm being honest, I know a very good friend of mine. I hardly see him now, strangely enough. And he worked at Anfield in a certain capacity. And when our owners first came in, the amount of people they sacked, no one knew about it. And I'm talking from, like, you know, the ladies who cleaned up and things like that. The fellas just getting rid of grass. So they looked at all these jobs. Oh, well, we don't need them. Someone else can do it. He's already understaffed. Frank, defensive mid, we should be going for Edison here. It is a no-brainer. Problem with the likes of Zubi, they play teams as they just want to go to Madrid. Yeah. Yeah, I think he's good, actually. Edison. He was good against us, wasn't he? For Atalanta. George Sheck says Tuscany. I'm old enough to remember as well what a player Ray Kennedy was. Great buy from Arsenal back in '74. I'm sure it was '74. It was. It was. We signed three players that season, and they were brilliant for us. Ray Kennedy. Was it 74? Terry McDermott and Barney Rubble. Yes, Barney Rubble. Alan Kennedy. And she have a limit left back today. Yeah, Frankie, if transfers like the media is predicting is true, what more business after Vert, Frimpong, Kirkers would you like us to? I think we need a striker. Proven. There's a message off a friend of mine, a story. Who's that fella? Who's that Franco fella? Never heard of him. It's a man about Georgie Best, Phil Ferns. He always played like we used to call them then. You know, like a right half or a centre half. Excuse me. Willie Russell, educating retail, one of the few certainties in life that persons of certainty should certainly be avoided. That's a cracker, that is. Nice fella, you know, Willie. Nice fella. I used to see him up in Falkland Street. If Nunes says that Edbird, if Nunes stays raw, will be one happy chappy. He's Darwin's number one fan. I do think we'll be different next season with the pacey fullback. Yeah, of course I do. Can I ask you, because I want to do this draw next week. It's only on the football show we're doing it. But I want you to tell me what day to do the football show. You know, what evening. I want you to tell me rather than me pick a bloody day. Is that all right? So you can either have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So let me know, please, as soon as possible. The unfair Redbird. The worst shoot and kill sprang to mind. The worst shoot and kill. Oh, yeah. Darwin. And rock and roll footballers here. No tippy tappy in words of Big Sam Allardyce. Would you like to see him as your manager, Johan? George, heavy metal burns players out, in my opinion. Slot has found a way to keep players fitter for longer. Our injuries have improved. This is why we need a bigger squad, to be honest. Because the way we went, I'm not talking about. I'm going to talk about games. They're fucking terrible. Can't disagree on Ebro. He's a mare, you know, a nightmare, that is. So he's snaky to the Anfield Road. Sancho Frank is your. Are you doing summer pods, Frank? He said, yeah, I'll be doing. We've got interesting times coming up. especially in Europe. So I'll be doing the current affairs. And once the season starts, just like a week or so before the season starts, when we have players in place, when we have players who are already in place here, we're talking all about that before the season starts. The freedom fighter, says Joe. The freedom fighter. Christopher says we play all types of football, tippy tappy, and the heavy metal and long football. That's why we won the league, adapting and never giving up. Yeah, I always remember I was after the game. I think it was the Brentford game. Beat them 2-0 away. Darwin scored. And saying that we never give up. I always remember Mo at the beginning of last season. The season just gone. Obviously, they were asking him, what would you like to do now? Without the FA Cup, without the... and we will play all types of football, yeah. I don't know, this is why we need a bigger squad. And not rely, on less injuries. Who will be going? Will Kwanzaa be going? Will Elliott be going? Will Jota be going? We just don't know. The only person that's down, the only person that's gone is Keller. And all this, like, what about Shaky? Shaky. What about it? Didn't Slot go over and say, yeah, do you want to join us? Fuck all about it now. That's the influence Slotty has. The Anfield to Snapey. Did you see it? Jesus, and Well France. Jesus, and Well France are awful. But I don't think this club will be bullied by anyone. I'm gutted that Hussein has gone. Hussein. So come on, lads. Will you let me know what night, please? I hope I speak for a few of us here, but Johan deserves a round of applause being on here amongst the rabid coppites. Kudos to you, Squire. Hopefully you're as keen as we are to erode the toxic. Yes, there's too much toxic in football today, unfortunately. Too much. Here we go again, lads, says Brian. Instead of building on our championship winning squad, they are selling quality to buy quality. Imagine getting rid of Diaz and keeping Nunes and Jota. Defo, the former Bournemouth player, personally, I like Branthwaite, says the Snake. Can't go after him. what you're saying about all the toxic going on with fans, and my fucking eyes closing over, you know. So, if I stop like talking, it's getting these fucking pains over my eyes. Well, in my eyes, my eyeballs. Horrible. Up that way, could you imagine the uproar? We won't get him. Well said, Dino, but most bandwagon fans from 2019 can't see before those times. No, says Brian. Snapey, says you. I do hope we move forward in fan culture away from the toxic. Yes. And have honest discussion. Banter is always part of it, but we must unite against it. Yeah? The elements, the bad elements. This is what we say, isn't it? All the time. Snapey, says the answer. Yes, I totally agree. He would have been a real good sign, and the Everton lad is a prospect. I like him. But can you, yeah. Says it all. Nick Barmby. Left in the fucking middle of nowhere by a taxi driver. That's how toxic it is. And it's gone worse from there. Edward. Not that many strikers about now. All seems to be going for the same ones. Won't get Darisa. Ekatike. What about him? Have I said that right? Ekatike. Well, it's Ekatike. Frank, Barney Rubble came in 78. You're thinking of Phil Neal. Yeah, Phil Neal. Northampton. Kevin Keegan. Fucking Scunthorpe was it, or Doncaster? Little Kevin Keegan. I seen him in town. And there was a boutique called Logan's. And we used to go. I go down to Logan's Yard for the shirt. Logan's Yard. And that Keegan was in there buying a pullover and a little tank top thing. Hello, Kevin. Oh. I remember going to Ray Kennedy book signing in Belfast when he was diagnosed with Parkinson's. This book was called Ray of Hope. Always remember leaving the shop with tears rolling down my cheeks. Says Simon. Tuesday's good, Frank. Okay, Tuesday it is. Thank you, Edward. Tuesday. For the draw of the thingy. This. So good luck with that, boys, girls. the Anfield said, Ratcliffe did the old FSG rhetoric routine, say we've got nothing, then transfer target clubs will let us have them for less, and today get rejected by Brentford. Any day is a Franco Baresi day. Actually, Argiera calls me Baresi. He just fucking talks to me either. No one talks to me. Jared Fleming. Done that. Deleted me. That's the way it is. Don't give a fuck to me. Thursday, Franco, if okay with you and everyone, say Sam. Fuck it. If anyone else says Thursday, I'm going to toss up. It's the only fair way. I think I've been rumbled. I'm on mobile data. The king of the Wi-Fi. It's been rumbled. Can't make these. Can you make these fucking things up? What kind of a pod is it? Oh, it's a football pod, you know. Oh, good. Look at it. Well, Robin here next door's Wi-Fi in the loft. Some clientele you have. The best. The best clientele. Snapey says, I'm feeling they want Doak apparently. Bargain and chip for Brantwaite perhaps. Big old George Scott and Gomez if Dokey went. Brian, whatever we do next season, we have to stop giving away the softest, stupidest goals, and that zonal marking is a disgrace. Do you know what? Rafa used to do the zone, if you remember. Johan to the road. You know, Ratcliffe sponsors the Tottenham Stadium through, yes, they do. Ineos Grenadier, yeah. How is that not a conflict of interest? There's loads of conflict. We don't know half of the things, to be honest, Johan. Snafey. Oh, yes, so they do. I'd rather give them right back who came on versus Plymouth. Mabea, yeah. Yeah. That was fucking disgusting, man. No one get over that. George said. Tuesday, Frank. Fucking hell, sorry you fucking asked. Oh, Lala Sheikh just scored a beauty. Any chance we can sign him? Any lad. 6th of all. That's who we went to see, isn't it? What city here after him? And there's talk of that fucking garden as well. Have you noticed the troll talk? We've only got one fella there. Flint Punk. And everyone else is all talk. Brilliant, Johan, mate. Great to see you, lad. It is a refreshing, good lad. Yeah, it is refreshing. That's from Brian. Johan. Tuesday will be fine. I'll be the witness. It'll have to be Tuesday, I'm afraid. You know, because one of the lads said Thursday. I think it was Simon. I think it was. Everyone's gone for Tuesday. Johan, says the owner. In Nice, I heard he was selling his pharmaceuticals at the hot dog stand. The man will do anything for a pound. I bet you didn't think I'd say Nice, did you? Not nice. Where are you going for your holiday? I'm going out to Nice, you know. It's nice. Nice, mister. It's nice. Everton meant to want Doug. Yeah, you're right, Edmund. Oh. Snake or salesman, they're that. See how you're upsetting poor Johan? Coming out with words like rat. These tough words. Rat. Anfield. To Johan. What I don't get is, how can you pay Mabueno, potentially 250 a week? Okay. I thought United were getting away from being shafted in finances. Well, wait till Elon Musk buys us. That's all that I'm waiting for. We'll be buying rockets for our wings. And it'll be lift off. Sneaky to the earth. That Brentford striker isn't worth that kind of wages. Excuse me. We're not paying them 250, mate. It's 125k plus bonuses, potentially adding up to 2k, 200k. But again, we finished 15. That's the only way we attract players, unfortunately, says Johan to the Anfield Road. But you're buying a big ground, aren't you? That's going to cost like £1 billion, that. I wanted our corners cut off. No fucking chance with our owners. They like cutting corners for financial reasons. The Anfield to their stay. I read it today. I was like, he will be 100k less than Mo. And he is all right, but he is not Mo Salah. Apparently, that Tony asked United for 250k before Saudis went for him. Got a fucking cheek, haven't they, some of them? Hey, £1 million a month. Sneaky. Wednesday, fuck off now. Winding me up. Steve the Snake was winding me up. Anfield to the Owen. Even that's too much. I mean, shopping in Luis Diaz Market it is possible to sign good players on cheap wages. I just think United are on the merry-go-round of repeat strategies. Oh, George said. Got to go, Frank and chat. 5 a.m. Okay, now. Good night, everyone. Good night, George. 5 o'clock. You a farmer? Do you have to milk the cows or what? I've been awake since 4:15. Me? Fucking I can't sleep. Franco, I will go with the majority Tuesday, fine season. Thank you, Simon. Thank you. The king of the Wi-Fi. That must be his best night, especially in the loft. Sneaky. Like George Ladd says, the outfield. Johan to the outfield. I agree, but hey, if the Glazers are spending, I'd tell my agent to squeeze every single penny from those leeches. Yet Ineos have asked Dave Braithwaite to take a back seat, says Sam. Outfield, Johan. Sure, mate. But to me, lessons don't seem to be learned for your side. PSR is gonna hit United hard. No income next season. That was very good vocabulary there, Frankie. Very niche. Very niche. Very nice. Yeah, nice use of the language. Or is that niche use of the language? Frank, on Tuesday, it's National Friends Across the Water Day. Just saying, like, National Friends Across the Water Day. Never heard of that. What's that? Is that the Irish and the Liverpool? I don't know. Or is it the Irish and the Americans? Kubla Khan. Even if they put a rocket up Darwin's, he'd still miss it. He doesn't need a rocket though, does he? He's quick, is Darwin. We're sanctioning the new redev project around with taxpayer. Old Trafford taxpayers' fucking money. Fuck it now. going to be a lot of money there. Elon Musk buys us and he appoints Frankie as director. You'll love it, lad. Musk will make you a Tesla Zimmer. A rocket one. Do you know what I was watching that? It was the other day. And you've got, on that Facebook, I was only on my phone. And I was sitting there, as usual, fucking doing nothing. So I put it on, and there was this, it's got, the best fails or falls or whatever. And you see this, it was caught on, those door bells, it's got a camera. And you see this lady, I know I shouldn't say it, but, an old lady, taking a dog out in America. Taking a dog out for a walk, right? Just walking like that. Nice and gentle. And all of a sudden, you see this other dog come out of nowhere. And the dog, she was there, she was over her dog. Her fucking suck up. You just see it. She went up in the air. Like Superman. Getting dragged along. She couldn't let go. But it just went off there because she just went out of sight. It was so funny. It was so funny, honest. And I was thinking something, like a juice or something, And I just went, pfft. I was just thinking about it. Just thinking about it. Tesla's in the frame. Cheers, lad. That's me exhausted for grey matter tonight. Yeah. To the snaky. Yeah, I'll be finishing now, boys. Simon says, now he has fallen out with Donald. I wouldn't be surprised Elon will be on the phone to this Dynasty Equity for the next project. Post-season, he will be using Anfield to fire rockets. You wouldn't believe that he's got family here, though. Family ties. Elon. Ronaldo on 100 million a year. Is it just crazy what these guys are? To be honest, Simon, it's just pure fucking greed. I know good people who've worked all their lives. Honestly, good people. And retired, and they're Starmer wanting to, but he's taking benefits away from them. What does that tell you? And you've got the likes of Ronaldo, Trent. It's money he's got after him to run his contract, so we can get the signing on fee. And his brother, his agent, could shock it. I don't know about friends across the water today. I'd settle for a mate next door. You reinstate my Wi-Fi, tight-fisted sod. I've only got 5 gigabytes a month mobile data. Elon, charge up me Zimmer, lad. I'm off to make the deal for the striker. I'd go to South America, you know. I'd go to South America to look at players, scout players. There's loads there. Tesla Sims in the. I'm being honest, I used the trolley. You know, when I'm walking around the shop. As a Zimmer. Honestly. And he gets some peculiar looks. You know, people looking like that because our Francine's always with me, you know what I mean? And if my mate takes me, you know, they're looking at me like that, and they're looking at him, going, look at them prick. I've got E-power. Oh, Kevin the Bake, yeah. Kevin Bacon sandwich, yeah. Great Kevin the Bacon sandwich. See you tomorrow, says Edward. What's happening tomorrow? Oh, yeah. Thank you, Edward. Thank you so much, mate. And as he says, thanks, Frank, in chat. Yeah, got the current affairs, haven't I? Johan. Have a good night, Frank and Legends. See you guys tomorrow. Always a great time with you lot. Thank you. You're a good lad. You are a good lad. We're not all bad here, you know. To the contrary of what Mrs. Thatcher thought of us. The Anfield. Great show tonight, Frankie, but the split experiment took it out of you, lad. And your stamina went. Did you notice that? I'm only saying that. Yeah. Did you notice that? Because you're right there. Do you know what? That's great observation. Great observation. But as I said, I wanted to talk about something, but I'll talk about them next week. I'll show you that thing. I'll show you that thing tomorrow night, by the way. I'll show you. Even Johan would like it. It's unusual, put it that way. Very unusual. So I know Franco. Totally agree. Strange how these fellas kiss the badge loyalty and all that crap. Loyal to their bank accounts. Looking forward to tomorrow. Strange how we can just find 15 billion under a sofa. Yes. Nice Edwards, Johan, says the Anfield. Where's our red board going? Oh, Jesus. This fucking thing. Frank says, as always, the best. Great podcast again. Try and get a few hours kit. Legend. I can't, you know. I'm being honest. I was in bed last night, if you did, and I was looking at the telly, and I said, I'll have to try and sleep. This is at 5 to 32, 2:55, going on 3 o'clock or so. So I put the telly off, and then went to sleep. And I was awake again at 4:15. Wide awake. I was in the wide awake club. And I got up at, about 7 o'clock. Got her in around, and I said, I'll have to text Francine because she takes the granddaughter to school miles away. So I said, what time will you be? Are you still coming down today or tomorrow? And it's fucking ages when she got back to me. She said, I'm coming down today, Dad. And I said to her, well, what time? Will you be here? What time? Never got back to me. It's a fucking waste of time phoning her. And then, so I had to stay up. Got a shower and that. And stayed up, waiting for the text. So I had to go out. I'm being honest. I was being honest now. Came home and we had a cup of tea. She stayed, and then she went to pick the baby up. I said, I'll take her home have a couple of hours because I was tired. And I goes to bed, and my fucking neighbour called, fucking ringing the bell for ages. Oh, fucking hell. So he gets up, and there's an in-law, whatever it was, sitting down, talking, and then I kicked off. It must have been because of my lack of sleep. And, the media, don't you read the papers? Fuck off. Fucking should have heard me. They haven't a fucking clue. I just say to people, do you know Victoria Newland? If they want to talk about Ukraine. And if they say no, I just say to them, fuck off about anything. That's all I say. Won't speak to them after that. Why, what's happening tomorrow, says you? Scared the hell out of me for a second. It's the Zimmer frame. The rocket-propelled Zimmer frame. Got a fella in talking about it. Elon Musk, chief engineer. Can't pronounce his name because he's one of those, one of those South African, what do you call them? The boars, the snub-nosed boars. I get some peculiar looks too in Aldi, but where in a minute? That's Lindsay Graham. That. You go out with Lindsay Graham. I know you know. But you still let some mini skirt. Luke Paul on Smack. You get the picture. Lindsay Graham on Smack. I'm always concerned about you, my legend. You go and rest, Frankie. Conspiracies tomorrow. I'll drop them uppers around. Okay, lad. Oops. The uppers, yeah. Francine said, I've got to get you some magnesia, is it? Fucking hell. I'm always concerned about you, my legend. Honestly, thank you for that. I appreciate it, but I'm okay. Get depressed now and again. Like Frank and everyone, of the title winning Red Six Christopher. Yeah, I'll show you that thing tomorrow. Well, a giveaway as well. I think you'd be made up of it, honest. But it's more a girly thing. But you'd be made up with it yourself. And when they explain what it is, you'll go, yeah, you're right there, Frankie. Honestly. Albeit it's like a girly thing. You don't wear it either. It's not what Snapey wears. Go to the supermarket. Redbird, says the Anfield, has less stamina than you, Frankie. Cutting his toenails again. It's okay. We will carry on this show. The Redbird. I get worried about the Redbird. I'm being honest, boys. I get worried about Redbird and the bear, Scottish bear. I really do. Sneak. Sneak. Milk it, Frank, while you've got the stamina. Call us a podathon. Catch up. Podathon. Remember that time? 4 hours. Over 4 hours it was once. It's like midnight. Take care, champions. The Johan to Christopher. Take care, champion of England. Champions of England. From the champions of Hong Kong. He's in Hong Kong. Hong Kong. He's in Hong Kong. Hong Kong. Fucking yeah. Still like asleep. Hong Kong. Johan from Hong Kong. Oh, fucking hell. Young Kong. Okay, you've got no chance of winning to be honest, Johan. Hong Kong. Wow. Oh, that's great, that. See? International we are. Toscana. Grazie, Franco. Great chat tonight. Buonanotte to you all. Have you tried white noise? I've heard that helps a lot of people for white noise. That's a film, you know. Well, I'm not saying you're saying that. Look at a film, but it is a film, white noise. It's good as well. I forget who's in it. No, I don't. I know who's in it. I can see his face now. Frank, look after yourself, mate. Would you not get a sleeper tab for nightmare? Do you know what? I have to take tablets overnight. Well, one. I'm scared of tablets, you know. Fucking hate them. That's why I've sat here in terrible pain. And I hate taking, like painkillers. It's horrible. Honest to God, it's horrible. I'm scared of fucking overdosing, with these tablets I have to take. The first thing of the morning. It's horrible. Just frightening me. Hope you can, mate. Great podcast yet again. Never fails. You never walk alone, mate, and all the lads says. Brian. Thank you, Brian. Our Irish friend. Hong Kong. Johan. Johan from Hong Kong. That's a shame, didn't we? Tuscany, at least your club's won more than 115 City. 115 City, yes. I think all Man United fans when we were playing City. Man United fans. But Liverpool to win. First time in history. Imagine it. You'll be back next season, be a lot better, I'm telling you. Christopher, Frank, sleep when you feel tired. Nobody can force themselves to sleep. It's like forcing someone to eat if they are not hungry. That's a cracking piece of philosophy, that. And it is philosophical, actually, forcing it down. I'm not reading that out. Have you tried aromatherapy? Lavender drops on your pillow, eye mask. Do you know what? Do you know? Oh, that's what I wanted, an eye mask. And I keep forgetting. To get one. If they sell them, that is where you get them. You know, B&M. There's a B&M. Old bargain. I only go to Sainsbury's, but I go there sometimes. M&M. This is M&M. B&M. Okay. Have you got a mask here for me? I can't sleep. I get Toscana out to do some shopping for me. Tonic water. Lavender. I get bad jumping language. Simon, you'll have to come and see me, mate. And we can have a competition. You want to see my leg? It's uncontrollable. I frightened my daughter, actually, because she was sitting there a few weeks ago. And all of a sudden, just sitting there. And she was on the fucking phone. It comes out to see her on the phone. Anyway, out the corner, my leg went. And she caught the corner and she went, Dad, what's wrong? My leg was going. Quick before you go, can we all find 40 people to sub to Frank so we can get over the fucking Montana? It's doing me head. Do you know what? I'm not being funny, but I know that I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I think Johan might help us there, because in Hong Kong they've got all fans and Hong Kong. I always remember my mother going on a cruise and she went to Hong Kong. She said, Francis, she said, the bustle, she said, it's incredible. And they live in high-rise flats. I said, what kind of high-rise? She said, it's impossible to describe. She said, but they're beautiful people. She loved going away, the old girl. And fucking dies in a corridor in the hospital. Doing me head in. That's a great Liverpool saying, that, isn't it? Doing me head in. the Euro to Toscana. Even if they win more than us, it isn't legit for sports reasons. Klopp and Slot winning it with FSG is more impressive than all the city's titles with Abu Dhabi. That's what I believe. Abu Dhabi. Do you know what? I gave a lecture, and it was about when Liverpool, not football related, and started trading, you see, with the Irish at the beginning, like. So I've got a statement here. It's from a document. It's from a document by a fellow named John Leland. He was the antiquary and librarian to Henry VIII, and this is genuine. This, and I'm talking like that. And I was a dinosaur, honestly. I had this, what you call it, OHP, over the projector, big screen. I used to put the images up. And I had this thing, piece of, document that this Leland had written, first time it's ever been written about Liverpool. And it had and Manchester men do buy there. Meaning the Manchester men coming to Liverpool to buy, the goods that was coming through on the River Mersey, right? And they really thought, and no one said anything. So you just leave it. Fucking months after it, I was the following academic year. And this fella said, hey, Doc. I said, well, yeah. And he said, we're just trying to say about Liverpool and trade. And, you're going back to like 1500 or whatever, if I remember correctly. Now, didn't Liverpool trade with Manchester and Dubai? I said, Manchester and Dubai? He said, yeah. Do you remember saying that Manchester, come in and Dubai? Did I realise? I said, no. I said, that was the document that Manchester men do buy, do buy B-U-Y, to buy there. That means Liverpool, Dubai. Fucking hell, everyone thought that it was fucking Dubai. Liverpool were trading with Dubai in 15 fucking 6, whatever it was. True that. Good English, isn't it? I'm not from Hong Kong, Frank. We recently won the Hong Kong Cup. Let's go west. So you haven't seen the skyscrapers then? And the hustle and bustle and no offense to Hong Kong. Oh. Snapey says, white noise is the equivalent of listening to a woman speak. Fucking hell. That's why I'm on my own. I'm not reading that out. I'm reading it out. And even he agrees. Oh, fuck. Let's look at it. I always wait you and your bird can sing to go to work. Love that Beatles one. It's about fuck all, but gets me off to work in a good mood. Sorry, Johan, but Frank would be up all night laughing if he watched that. Guys, let's all get a few mates, relatives, etc., and ask them to subscribe. We will get the word out, Frank, and get you over the milestone. Well, I will be praying for it. Oh, thank you, Simon. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's it. Dubai, yes, Dubai. That's honestly, that's genuine. They were fucking doing essays and everything. Liverpool were training. Good Dubai. Manchester and Dubai. No such fucking places, Dubai. That's a good point there, Johan. But I think Frank could do listening to Arteta's Excuses podcast for years. Well, they're the best team anyway, aren't they? Hey. Ecco. Remedy. Now, do you see what you're saying there? Mangiare, bere, e buona compagnia. I do like eating. And believe it or not, you're not going to believe this. I do fall asleep if I have something to eat. Now, you might think, well, what have something to eat and go to bed? I can't eat all night. I cannot eat after 9 o'clock. I wish I could. I'm not allowed to. See, people say about hypochondria and everything else. It's just, I don't know what's wrong with me. I've got fucking bags under my eyes. Everything. But thank you for that, Simon. Here's a remedy. Yeah. Thank you. Mangiare, e bere, e buona compagnia. And a beer, yeah, of course. And on that great note, in Italian, lingua d'Italiano, grazie. Grazie tutti. Amico, amici. Amico, amici. Amico. I'll see you some of you tomorrow. And then it'll be, have we signed anyone yet? Besides Frimpong. Before it starts. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, I really, really appreciate what you've done, keeping me company. And Anthony in the first hour. I was in a Chinese restaurant one night and there was every nationality in there, and I asked the waiter, is there any Jews here? He came back a few moments later and says, yes, sir, we have orange juice, apple juice, not strawberry juice. It's like, see, it's the Irish accent, isn't it, though, Brian? Another boss night, lads, and genial host, Mr. C says, Mr. Snakey, the king of the Wi-Fi. Simon, Good night, Franco. God bless. Thank you, Simon. Good night. Yo, smash the likes if you haven't already, legends. Good night, everyone, says you. The Anfield. Night, Frankie, like, get some well-earned stuff, yeah. But I will... Simon. Kirk should be signed next few days. He has withdrawn from the Hungary squad for Sweden game. Go away. How long are these fucking games going on for? Is England playing? I don't support England anyway. Night, Johan. Says Kirsten. Up the Godfather. And they pull me in. I get out. And they pull me back in. And on that wonderful note, I'll see you there tomorrow, some of you. Very important. That I'll be talking about. All weekend, all these go away, international games are playing. Up to Frank Carlyle, that's all you lads. Simon, England play tomorrow. Oh, for fuck's sake. No one will be on tomorrow night. I don't watch England, honestly. I don't support them. And it's not just because of those Hillsborough or anything. I've never supported them. I've always supported Italy. Squadra d'Italia. Calcio. Since I was a kid. And Liverpool FC. And on that note, thank you. Good night, everybody. Buonanotte. As our Toscana would say. Buonanotte.